Hello, welcome to another episode of the GNPS. It's your boy uGeneral Engineer mfana wangale kothukela kodwa ngohlala ngihlala khona la eThekwini. You know what it is, man. It's another episode of the GNPS, and sitting across me is my next guest. She goes by the name, well, she doesn't go. This is her real name, Yashna.
Yeah, that's me.
How you doing, girl?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
For people that don't know who's Yashna, where the hell have you been? Where you hiding?
Me?
Not you.
Oh.
Whoever doesn't know who is Yashna.
Oh. Okay.
But for those who don't know, who is Yashna?
Yashna is a singer-songwriter from Durban. And yeah, I'm just a creative and an artist and someone that makes music and loves doing that. Yeah.
You know, most people when they hear you talk without seeing you, they might confuse you for another ethnicity group in whatever groups that we have in SA.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't put you in a... For me, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't distinguish. I couldn't just tell from the word go, okay, she's Indian. So my question is,
Okay.
how does Yashna become Yashna? And you are not just, you don't sound like a typical South African Indian girl, if I could put it like that.
Okay, so...
Even when you're talking.
No, so I get this a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Like, where are you from? I'm just from here, from Durban. I feel like maybe I've been influenced because growing up I watched a lot of TV and like I listened to a lot of music, and I guess I was influenced by that, but I never wanted to fall into the mold of what a typical Indian person is. I wanted to be my own person. So I'm glad I was able to achieve that. But yeah, it's just... I can't explain why I speak the way I speak. It just somehow it happened. Maybe it's the people I hang out with. Because I won't lie. Like, rappers like talking like they're American. No shade. So, like, some of the lingos I guess I picked up was from there. Because I do hang out around a lot of hip-hop artists. So, yeah, but I think overall it's just media might have influenced the way I speak. And probably because I was watching it from a young age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've said you're from here in Durban.
Yeah.
But mainly, where specifically in Durban did you grow up?
In Malvern, in Queensborough.
And how was life in Malvern growing up?
It was good. It was normal. It was boring. But I handled. It was just like most of my schooling career was there. So, yeah, it wasn't anything too exciting. Because back then, I hadn't tapped into the music as much. I had joined the choir. That was as good as it got. But I was more focused on drama back then, and with regards to school, because drama was one of my subjects. So that was where my mind was at back then. It wasn't solely into music.
Yeah,
I hadn't tapped into that, so I wasn't hitting studios back then. So I was an academic, basically. I was that Indian.
Like every Indian child.
Yes, because my mother was like not playing games. She was super strict, so I was focused on.
But I'm sure that worked to your benefit.
Yeah, definitely, because we fail to realize that our parents really have our best interests at heart, and they just want us to succeed. And back then, it's just like, oh my goodness, you're just like cramping my style. But now I understand that it's really important to, like, personally for me, my view on matriculation is like it's important to have your education as a solid foundation, and then you can go forth and just explore your dreams. But it's important to have a solid foundation.
Yeah, and it goes to show, because I mean, you're working full time right now.
Yeah.
You have a 9 to 5, which helps you.
It helps.
It allows you to do the music.
Yeah, it does. It funds me getting to studio and handling, and I just I'm. It's not the ideal thing right now, but it's allowing me to still push up my dream, because here I am. So yeah, I'm just trusting God's timing for everything.
Wow, man, absolutely. If I choose a way to come up to be in, like, I'd choose your position. I know you might disagree and be like, no, but I mean, if you have a job which sort of helps you find your dream, which you putting away a lot of time into doing so, I'd choose that instead of being in a position where I've got nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, for me, I personally, I'm an overthinker. And I know a lot of artists that find themselves like depressed or like super sad, like, because when you have so much time on your hands, you tend to start questioning, why have I been given this if nothing's working out? So for me, this is just me being vulnerable, is the fact that one reason I'm grateful for having a 9 to 5 is that it keeps my mind occupied, because I can overthink myself into a pit. And I still have my days like where I question, like, because it gets tough and it gets emotionally draining sometimes when you know you're putting in all the work and you don't really see much from that. But so it helps me stay occupied in the process of getting to where I want to be.
Okay, so now you've grown up in Melbourne, typical Indian girl, focusing on academics. I mean, if you look at it in that aspect, I mean, how do you now discover this musical side of you, or how do you what's the word? Cultivate this musician within you as you're growing up?
So music has always really been there. From as long as I could hold a melody, like I'd be singing. I'd annoy people because I just sing if I'm in the shower, in the toilet, outside, inside. Excuse me. So it's always been there. And I kind of always knew. I remember once there was, I don't know, there was this competition on, there was Yo TV. And there was
Yo TV, man.
Yeah, there was this competition. And Mario's Let Me Love You came out. And I remember, like, I remember practicing this thing because I was like, no, Mom, I'm going to enter this competition. In my head, I was just like, oh, Yashna, you can sing. Little did I know, back then, I probably sounded so bad because I hadn't even
maybe compared to me, you were like,
trust me, it was not good. But like in my head, I was so confident. I was like, oh my goodness. I think back then, in my heart, I was like, this is what's going to happen. Like I could feel this is my thing. Back then, obviously I wasn't where I'm at now, but I guess you just know what you're called for. And that's how I know from a young age. And I don't know when did that song come out? Like I must have been in primary school.
Yeah, it was
grade 5, I think.
2004. Something.
Imagine. So like back then I kind of already knew that like I loved singing. And since then it kept coming in. I remember in primary school, I was watching the choir. I hadn't joined it. Like my friend that was in it, she'd always say, you need to like audition, you need to join the choir. But like I never did. I don't know why. Maybe I thought I wasn't good enough back then. But whenever like it was prize giving, obviously I was in prize giving.
Yeah. Academia.
Academic. So I'd be in prize giving, and they'd always have this moment where the choir would sing. And so they'd sing like Whitney Houston. What's the song? I Believe the Children Are Our Future. Yeah. So I remember I'd watch it and like I'd have like a lump, like a thick lump in my chest, in my throat, because like I just want to cry.
Yeah.
It is so bizarre. Like it would make me so emotional what music would do to me. I remember once they sang the Titanic song, My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
And like every time, and then I'd go home and I just sing these songs, and yeah, it always resonated something within me. And then in high school, I finally found the courage to audition for the choir, and I got in and I was like, oh my goodness. And that was the beginning really of me taking it seriously.
So did you have like a lead or something?
My first audition, imagine. So they were like, okay, you made the choir. Okay, we're doing our first song with solo acts, and these are the full soloists. It was me, it was Shekinah, it was I don't remember the rest just because Shekinah. I just remember her being there.
Yeah, Shekinah.
But like, yeah, there were 2 other girls that were also given the solo parts. It was TLC's DLI.
Yeah.
I still remember because I was so nervous, and I remember I kind of got sick, and I remember telling my choir teacher, I was like, I don't think I can do it. But I could tell in my spirit it was my excuse because I wanted to get out of it. Because I felt so scared, like, what are people going to think? I'm this little Indian girl, like, can I sing? Sing? I was so afraid. And she was like, no, you're going to do it. I don't care whether your voice, your throat is sore, you're going to do it. And I went there and I handled, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, I didn't know you had that in you. And that kind of helped boost my confidence a little. And then as time went on, I just kept at it.
Wow. I mean, you need more people like that at times like that.
Like, just do it. Like,
yeah.
I don't care if you're sick, just do it. Yeah.
Do you still get like anxious before maybe a performance or recording, or is it now second nature?
Well, with recording, it's and I have my days. It just depends what the project is and what we're going for. Like if it's a genre I'm not too familiar with, then sometimes I do get anxious. Like it was last week. It was Afro Tech, which is like a house, like straight up house. And I've never been a fan of house music.
And now how do you? I mean, it's tough being a vocalist, eh?
It actually is. It's not as easy as it seems.
Because people hear you on another track and they're like, "Yo, you would sound nice on this."
And it sounds so simple. Like if you listen to the song now, it just sounds like, oh, that was so easy.
Yeah.
But if anyone knows the process, like it was really difficult because it wasn't a genre I was used to, and that was actually me. Because I always go on like interviews and I'm like, don't box me. I'm open to any genre, and I was sitting there just like, oh my goodness, this is not easy. This is hard. Why do I say I'm open to every genre? So I had to like push, and I had to make it happen. Yeah. Thankfully, to some dope assistance, I was able to pull it through.
It came out right. That's an exclusive you just dropped it. This is something that you just recently worked on, right?
Yeah, it's just not my project. Like I'm a feature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about those. We speak about your own stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, high school, you did the choir.
Mm-hmm.
And after high school, what happens for Yashna?
So I was really passionate about drama, like acting. And so that was the vision at that point in my life. Like music was a constant. It was there from like the beginning, early days. But like as I progressed, I wanted to become an actress. So I started studying actually at the University of Pietermaritzburg. And my degree was a degree in performance studies and drama because Durban didn't offer that. So I went to Pietermaritzburg and I spent a semester there studying this. And one of my electives was psychology, but drama was my main focus. And that semester was probably one of the highlights of my life because I propelled real quick with regards to music and, because I got cast as Ali in the musical Burlesque.
Okay, this is for your
and I was a first year. No, it was an honors project, but me being like a first year, I'm a rookie, and they cast me as Ali, which is the lead
with the seniors
in Burlesque. Yeah. So like super quick, I made a name for myself there, and everyone knew this little tiny Indian girl with this huge voice. And as much as like I was in there, it was like the pressure was getting to me because I was literally traveling every day to Pietermaritzburg and back. So I'd leave home at like 6. Imagine what time I had to be up because I was in a Love Club. I'd get there at like 7:30 and I'd have to be there till like 5:30. And this was an everyday thing. Yeah. So with rehearsals and stuff, it just got a lot to me. And then I kind of fell into my mom was like, okay, I can see this is taking a toll on you. And somehow, as much as I was in the whole acting thing, the music was kind of starting to seep in. I was like, okay, this is because the musicals and everything. I was like, okay, I feel like music is calling me. So my mom was like, okay, you know what? Have a solid backup plan, but you can still do your music on the side. And if I'm being honest with Yashna, I feel like I took the easy way out. And I was like, okay. And I came to Durban and I got my honors in industrial psych. I worked on my music on the side for sure, but I probably would have made a different decision if I could have done it again.
Do you still have that desire to, accomplish acting or to
conquer? My goodness, like my biggest dream, everyone knows I love Tyler Perry. Like since high school days, I've been doing Tyler Perry monologues. So that would be my dream to like be in a Tyler Perry movie. I'm putting this into like the universe, Lord Jesus, yeah.
Tyler
so
Perry,
one day, oh my goodness.
There's an African girl out here looking to be in your movies.
Like I am like a Tyler Perry like fan. I love the dramas and it's just such powerful stuff that he does. So,
but you do have the talent for it.
Thank you.
I can see you in a musical. Like I said,
I love musicals.
You're dynamic. You're right about saying people shouldn't box you.
Yeah.
Anything else outside of those two fields that you have a passion for?
So, oh gosh, when I was like kid, I used to watch music videos and learn the dances. Yeah. So that was my initial dream. It sounds so, but I doubt it's lame because people actually do it. It was to be a backup dancer. not a lead dancer that like has backup dancers. It was to be a backup dancer.
Yeah.
But then music came, and then like
It puts you in the front spot.
Yeah. So yeah, basically just creative. I think the one thing I lack is just being able to draw. I feel like that would probably complete my package.
Yeah.
Cause like I wish I could be an artist.
That
like
would be so
one
unfair,
that could draw.
though.
Chris Brown is it? What do you mean? He
No.
can do all of that.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Brown is kind of an anomaly,
He's
outlier. You call them outliers.
super dope.
There's not a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
You know, but vocally, I mean, my God.
Thank you. However,
Yeah.
I could be an abstract artist. If you think about it. Yeah, so I'll work towards that. One
Yeah.
day I will go for art
Yeah,
classes and
there's
then
not-
accomplish that. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can learn drawing. You
yeah.
can get somebody to teach you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you need to unlock that
Yeah.
artist.
That's probably what I'm
within
going to tap into because like I really, really would love to draw.
you. Yeah, but for now, we love you.
I'll stay in my lane for now
Yeah,
and do the
we need-
music.
We need you doing the services with the music.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the music.
Mhm.
So what's the first project you ever dropped? Or first song?
The first song I dropped was, oh my God, what was I don't even remember the name, but it was this. Lights Off.
Nights Off. This is
Yeah.
when?
2016.
2016.
Yeah. So prior to that, I had written a couple of songs. I just never recorded it
Yeah.
because I was struggling to find a producer. And so my mom bought beats online for me, and it was a producer from Hungary. Yeah, it blows my mind. Imagine now that I'm like in this industry, I feel like there's so many producers. Back then, I couldn't even find one. Like I don't know whether
Hungary.
it was
No disrespect to Hungary. It's just that I don't know you guys.
It is dope. His name is Shorty Chris Beats.
Yo,
And,
shout
like,
out to
I
Shorty
got
Chris
some
Beats.
Dope. I had
From
got some
Hungary.
dope beats, and even on my first project, one of the songs there is him. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then from that, how long did you do that vibe of buying beats online?
The crazy thing was, I don't even know why T-Bag didn't tell me that he can produce back then. Because
So
I
wait,
recorded it with T-Bag.
You knew him, and
I recorded these songs with T-Bag. I guess he was just doing what he thought I wanted him to do, which was record. But I didn't know he was a producer like that. So he recorded these songs on the beat that I had got.
Which you had purchased online.
Which I purchased. So that was the first song. And the second song, I don't remember who produced the second song. I don't remember. Oh my goodness. I don't remember who produced my second song.
Sorry, second song.
My goodness. Oh dear. I don't know whether
Okay,
I bought that one. I think I bought that one as well.
The beat.
The beat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you took it to T-Bag again.
Yeah, and then he just dealt with my, like, because I would go and make notes and highlight, and I'd go back with my book, like, we need to fix this. And I didn't realize, like, it was T-Bag. And so I just come with all my nitty-gritties. And now that I know T-Bag, I know he doesn't have patience for that. So I'm grateful that he stuck through all of that with my nitpickiness. But yeah, he handled, and those two songs, I was so proud of it. I was like, okay, I'm going to pop off of this song. And I feel like a lot of people make this mistake. Like, when you enter the scene, you make a song. And obviously what you sound like in the shower doesn't sound like what you sound like when you record a song. When you record it and they mix and they master, it's like, oh, I can sing and this is dope. I'm going to blow up with this. And no, it's not how it goes. You have to make a couple songs before you, like, it's a process. So those songs were not it, as you may have noticed. You don't even know it.
Yeah, I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's good that we don't know that.
Yeah.
But I'm kidding.
Yes, no. It's good.
I don't trust your judgment. I don't trust artists when it comes to their own music.
I've grown a lot from this since then.
And you guys tell us, no, this is there. And then I listen to, I'm like, no, that's
Trust
not
me.
it.
That one. And so after that, what happened? I started working. So initially I was a favor to T-Bag because I couldn't find producers. So Eric Grash, he was helping me try to find producers. The first guy kind of messed me over, and I never got around to meeting him because he was procrastinating stuff. And so it's like, okay, let me ask T-Bag because he owes me a favor. So I was like, okay, cool. And so T-Bag and I set up a meeting. So I met him. We spoke. He was like, okay, we're going to record this first song. And he's like, okay, your favorite to Eric, and I'm sitting here like, oh, it's like he's not even keen. I'm just like a favor. Okay. And so he works with me on the first one. He's like, so I just work on off vibes. Like if like I want to work with you, we'll work after this. But if not, it's over. I was like, okay, cool. So I think he was good with working with me after that. So I continued working with him. We did the second song, and in that studio, I met a couple of people. Like I remember the first time I went to, was the first, I don't remember. Okay, it was one of the few early days that I went there, and I met Loki and Lungelo Manzi.
Yeah.
They were both in a studio session. So that's how I started connecting with people. And who would have thought all these years later? Yeah. So yeah, I met a couple of people, and then I met Audio Sims through Teabag, and then I started working with Audio Sims. He'd start sending me beats, and then I started writing to those beats, and then I decided to start with my first project, which is called Phases of My Broken Heart. Yeah. And so on that
which was a dope project, by the way.
Thank you so much.
That we slapped on.
Yeah, super slapped on. I was thinking about that actually. Yeah. There's some power songs there.
When I look at your catalog, I'm like, yo, there's some jams here that just
yeah. And I know I don't even perform them anymore. That's a sad thing. I actually need to reevaluate my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So you recorded Phases of My Broken Heart.
Yeah. So on Phases, at that point, so I had those two songs I spoke about. So then I had joined the Be the Band competition with East Coast. So I collaborated with a female drummer from my church named Kelly, and we formed this group called Malachi to enter Be the Band, because she was a drummer and I was a singer. We were like, this will be different and dope. So we managed to make it to the top 6 of that group. Of the competition. And on making the top 6, we performed and whatever, and it gained a bit of traction. We were very new. We were new to this whole thing. And so she DM'd A1. And it so happened that there was this warehouse audition, and we missed it. And so we had done a cover of Questa's Ngias Fela Ngawe.
Yeah.
And so she sent him that link. And so he was like, okay, come through and let me meet you guys and hear what you guys sound like or have to offer. And then we ended up making the cut of the Warehouse Kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was Earl Evans and Chris Snakes and Tim Lewis and a bunch of other kids. And so we were like literally, I think, the last group that was in, because we didn't enter the auditions. We kind of just got in there at the end. So that was the Warehouse. That's where I met A1. And that's kind of where everything started to take off.
That's where everything started to change.
Yeah. Because we had our first studio session, and then I met Neo, and we worked on a track. And A1 kind of put that aside, and he said he wanted a ballad. And then I wrote Forever Down, which is such a beautiful song. You said they slept on my first project. I feel like people sleep on Forever Down.
And
that's a dope song.
Like your music, dog. Like we sleeping on it.
You need to hear Forever Down. You probably won't even find you need to like search Malachi to find it. But it was probably one of my favorite songs. So I recorded that. That was the first time I met Neo. And since I met him, then it just like the music making just became excessive. We kept making music. And yeah, then he hopped onto my first project, so Phases of My Broken Heart. There was him. There was Audio Sims. There was Jabulani Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a lot of...
That's like a very tight combo.
So some dope ass producers.
For producers.
This is like really dope producers.
This is why I say that's a slapped on.
Yeah.
You could because you
we
could
had
tell
Loki featuring there.
Yeah, on Tables.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a dope track as well.
It's one of the favorites from the project actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that project, so then kind of Malachi went their separate ways. So Kelly and I just decided to focus on our solo careers. And from that moment on, actually, then I was just like nonstop in the studio, because being in a group comes a lot of like sacrifices, and then you kind of hold yourself back. So I think it was a better decision.
You always gotta worry about the
next person. Yeah. So I'm just glad I followed my gut and just went the solo route. Because since then my music career has propelled. Warehouse. So that was 2017. And in that, we had an orientation night where A1 wanted to showcase some of the talents. And so we got to perform. And that's where Sketchy Bongo saw me, and he DM'd me. He was like, yo, we're going to work on something. So I worked on the On Fire song in 2017.
Whoa, On Fire is from 2017?
December 2017.
And it's only blazing the charts now.
Because it only got dropped like now. But yeah, it was written, recorded December 2017. 2018 came. That's when I was working on The Phases of My Broken Heart and trying to build my catalog, and just I worked on a lot of features. Like my vision was like, I just want to work with a ton of features.
And you've blessed a lot of artists with features.
I did a lot of features in 2018.
There's a lot of people sitting out there, and soon, like 5 years from now, they're gonna be like, yo, I got a song with Yashna.
There's a lot of people that did songs with. And then, so that was 2018. When 2019 came, I felt ready for my second project because I was in a different phase in life. And then that's when I went in with Undone. And I started working towards that.
So on Undone, who did you work with? So it's still Neo, obviously.
Yeah. And Undone, it was it's Neo on all the... Oh, no, he was on most of the beats, but I have audio sims on Calm My Crazy, and I have Score Supernova on Undone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You see, you just went from buying beats online to having...
Yes.
The best.
I don't know whether it was because I didn't know people, and I think the scene that I was in wasn't helping me because I didn't know like the right people. Because now that I'm in it, there's like so many producers. Back then I felt I would like cry because I'd just be like, I can't find producers or people that'll help me. And those people that were like, they can help me, they were like, no, you must pay this amount, you must pay that, like exorbitant prices that I can't afford. It was so unreasonable. So you just need to like really be aware. There's some people that can really help you and guide you. You just have to be so aware in the decisions that you make and who you put your dream into whose hands, you know? Because some people are out to just to really to like manipulate. And
the other day, I heard your single Internet on Ikakas.
You heard it? I was wondering, I was like, no one heard it.
I flipped. I'm like, yo.
Oh man, I'm so glad someone caught it because I did get
Yeah, I caught it. I think I have a video.
You did?
Yeah,
I was like, nobody even tagged me, but like I did get news that it was playlisted.
I wanted to post it. I was like, yo, this is moving to another direction now. Like,
yeah, it's hard being an independent artist, but I'm out here doing what I should be doing.
It's here. Let me show you. Yeah.
Yeah, please can you send me that?
I'll send it to you.
That's so dope. Cause so as an artist, some artists have managers, some have like team members that do this for them.
Yeah. Get your music on every radio station. Blah, blah,
blah. Or you have people you pay to get your music onto radio. I sit there and I email people. No, I'm so serious. And sometimes like I remember like it was last year. But this is God's timing. Last year, when I was submitting winning. I was submitting winning to radio stations. And, like, I try and call people, and I couldn't get through. Like, it's because you have to follow up. Once you submit your music, at least 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, you must call and you must follow up.
Yeah.
Every time I'd call, I either wouldn't get through. If I got through, they'd make an excuse like, this person's busy. Can you call again? And I'd never get through. And I'd like cry because I'd be like, oh my goodness, it's so defeating. It's like it's sucking my soul. Like, it's like you try and you're not getting anywhere. And it's just literally God's timing because like a year later, I'm actually getting through. Like I'm calling and I'm getting through and I'm speaking to people. And I'm like, oh God, sometimes you're just not ready for things and we fail to accept it. But now like, it's such a dope feeling when you call a radio station and the compiler actually answers the phone.
You know, here's one thing. I have a problem with radio stations.
Yeah.
You know, okay, I don't care what content they're talking about, but when it comes to the music, that's straightforward. Like, the people that are compiling the music, it's like they just hire some guy who doesn't even listen to music, for that matter. If you were a music compiler for a radio station, I feel like you should invest 80% of your time listening or getting to know music, especially local music. You can't be working at a local radio station and you don't know the local artists. And when they are local artists that are doing well and they're producing great music, but you're just focusing on something else.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, I get it. But the unfortunate reality, and I'm not even trying to speak ill of compilers because Lord knows I need them. Especially when I'm submitting my music, I'm not trying to speak ill of compilers.
That's just me. Don't punish.
No, but I'll say this. And it's like a very bold statement, but I feel like radio is so corrupt. And it's almost as bad as like TV. It's like the government. I'm not even trying to start something, but it's like it's either people are bribing or like a label has the power. It's like as independent artists, we are fighting, and like it's so easy to just give up. I'm pretty sure like there's a bunch of people that's like, okay, you know what, stuff this shit, like it's whatever. It's hard if you don't know people, if you don't have money, if you not with a label,
you don't have a social media
you're at a disadvantage.
following.
If you don't have over 40k followers, like sometimes you can be whack and they'll play you just because of your following and the hype. There's so much hype.
Trust me, there are a lot of people's music that we hear on radio, but we know they don't belong there. They just stay because they got the... No, this is the truth. It's not shade. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you cannot have people's music where it doesn't even meet the requirements to be on radio.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
If you have to blurt out every second word and every line in a song clearly, hello, that thing doesn't belong on radio because that's not what you're looking for.
But they have the plugs. They know people who know people and they're there. Or they're just willing to pay the bribe. Like this bribe thing. I remember watching that speech that Ricky Rick gave, and I was like, oh, it's so profound. He was like, the internet. But even though the internet is hard, I'm not even going to lie. Like, it's so hard for people to listen to your music on the internet even. Like, my reach is not that grand, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
But, like, everywhere is hard. I guess you just have to keep pushing until it works out. Or just keep putting in the work until someone notices. But at this point, my thing is just don't give up. I just got to keep pushing, regardless of what it feels like, whether I have a down day, a good day. Just got to stay persistent.
Yeah. You know what I say? All I'm saying is, it's just like, you know, at the point that you are now, it may look like a dull phase. It's like, you know, it's just more work on your side, no results coming your way. I feel like it's just like planting seeds.
Yeah, that sounds like a scripture from the Bible.
And there's a huge harvest coming your way.
Amen.
Yeah, there's a huge harvest. Because, I mean, by the time people, like, you're at a point where we call you a national star or an international star, you're going to have hell of a track record in terms of music that you have. Because amongst the 2 projects that you've put out, like for the past 3 years, you've ticked the boxes. Every year you dropped a project. 2018,
and I had a show for it, which is great.
2018, you dropped a project.
Yeah.
2019, another project. This year, on last Friday, the 14th of February, you dropped the project.
That was a solid project.
You and Neo dropped Chemistry 2, which is more jams, more.
And that's like my comfort zone type music, because R&B. So it's that, straight in the comfort zone.
On that project, well, I was at the listening session. If you don't know
it, you and your team.
Right here on this channel, you can go look at the listening session. We have Yashna and Neo, is playing the latest project titled Chemistry 2. You can find it on all digital platforms. Yeah, while you're at it, it's good music. Trust me.
Yeah, it's dope.
You know, my vision with that is purely just to add fuel to the fire. Because, I mean, you guys work so hard to produce all that music. Yeah. And I just feel like we need to, you know, make the fire bigger. So more people could come with ideas like us doing with the listening session.
Yeah.
Just to, you know, broaden the hype around the music that you guys are creating. And also just to grow the culture within Durban, so to say. Yeah. And I'd like to appreciate you guys for participating.
So thank you guys for coming through.
And
you guys handled. Like, the content is dope. It's so clean. I was so grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. And how's it do? Well, can you get any feedback? Have you gotten any feedback from the...
So I posted on Instagram today.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been some...
No, not the listening session. The music.
Oh yeah, I've been getting some, but people have been commenting and tagging, and so for now it's just, I feel like it's building up. I feel like a lot of people are seeing it and they're just like, okay, I'll get to that later. But I feel like once they take the time to listen, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, you know. So we're just gonna keep pushing it and just see like how it goes. But personally, for me, like this is a solid project. We have a live saxophone, live keys. It's just the music is so clean. When you handle production, it's just like it's so solid. The whole project, even our approach to it.
I was like, yo, it's so sad that, once again, I just hope it doesn't fly over people's heads. Because that's quality music. But another good thing I always say about quality music, it's timeless.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, if people don't hear it now, 5 years later, they'll have a hell of a lot to go through.
Yeah, because we also have that.
Yeah, because in the times that we live in, because of the internet, as soon as people catch on to you, then they're like, yo, there's so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't feel like it's going to go to waste.
Yeah, for sure. Like, music can never go to waste. Because eventually, even if it's one person that's like, they go through it and then it resonates with them and they feel something with it, then it's made a difference,
And in terms of visuals this year, what can we expect from Yashna?
Yashna wants to do so much visuals. Like, I just want to conquer so many visuals. It's the year. Remember how I said, like, 2018 was the year of features? For me, 2020, I just want to do visuals. It's just ironic because it hit me while I said 2020 year of visuals because it's like the year of vision or whatever. Yeah, people hype the whole 2020 vision. But look at that, 2020 visuals for Yashna. Yes, that's what I'm going for me. So far, I am in the process of some stuff. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to just dropping as many visuals because I think that's what I've been lacking because I have like all the music and not enough visuals. But I won't stop with the music as well. Obviously, we're going to still be dropping music throughout the year. But for me, I just really want to come through with some visuals because it just enhances the music. Yeah,
we definitely need those.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another thing that, that's missing. Before we complain and say people are not listening.
Yeah.
Let's tick those boxes and then see it. Then we can start pointing fingers and be like, you guys are not listening.
Yeah. So I really want to handle that.
Yeah. Anything else other than visuals we can expect from Yashna?
Singles. Yeah, just singles, and I have been working on some features, so yeah, let's just hope the people that are featuring me drop the songs.
Okay. People have asked you to feature on their project.
Featured.
Some not singles. You looking for features.
No.
Oh, you are not looking for any features.
I know I'm not looking, but like, if the right feature comes along, obviously I'll take it. But I have been approached for features and I have been handling. So yeah, if it drops, it'll be great.
So when can one expect an album from Yashna?
An album when I'm signed, I think.
Yeah.
Oh God, that makes me think like, so she wants to get signed. That's not what I meant, guys. No.
I was about to get into that. Has anyone
dug
ever
a hole and jumped in it?
Has any label or anyone approached you with attempts to sign you?
See, sometimes you can't say all these things in podcasts.
Well, I'm just curious.
Nothing has happened. I'm still independent.
Come on, you can't tell me. You can't tell me A&Rs out there they're not liking what you're doing. You cannot tell me. Otherwise,
but I'm still independent.
Yeah, I know you're independent.
So yeah.
Well, I know. I can testify. She is
totally
very, very independent.
So when it happens, I guess we'll see. But till then, like, I'm very wary about a lot of things. And that is there a word?
Toxicity.
Is there such a word? Did I just make it up?
Yeah.
There's a word. Okay.
Toxicity.
Yeah. Toxicity of the music industry. So I'm really trying to like swerve on that stuff. So for me, it's just like I have a solid team. Actually, I wanted to say this. I forgot when you were like, oh, you have such a catalog and whatever. Like literally, the people in my team is just like Yashna wasn't built overnight, and like I couldn't have done it by myself. So I'm just grateful for everyone involved in making Yashna. So yeah, the end goal obviously is to be comfortable in the sense that like I'm gonna want to the end goal is to be signed to a label that has my best interest at heart. which label does that? But let's hope and pray that like I find one that like is right for me. Cause
yeah.
But till then, I'll be pushing this independent thing until the right label approaches me and makes a deal that's worth my while.
And when you say label, let's just I want to understand this or make people understand, help people understand. Are you just when you say label, do you look to be signed under where you are for everything that's Yashna is handled by that label, or you're looking at a distribution deal type of thing?
So, current Yashna right now in 2020, I'm looking for a distribution deal. I am not trying to sell my life away right now.
Yeah.
So I would take like a distribution deal or a licensing deal now, and maybe 5 years from now I can consider, or maybe 3 to 5 years from now I can consider signing. But until then, no, because I feel like I kind of have a lot of things under lock right now. I guess being independent for a while now, it's just there's a lot of things that I'm aware of and that I'm able to take care of for myself. For now, I'm okay. And I don't mind learning and like developing in this. I have time, I'm young. So it's like I don't mind taking some of the responsibilities. I don't need to give the label all of that. So I would do a distribution and licensing deal right now just so I can maintain some of my freedom. Because right now I'm such a free bird. I make music whenever, feature whoever, do whatever. No one tells me you can't work with this, you can't drop now, you can't like, and it freaks some people out. So I really appreciate my freedom and I like it a lot. So I would go for a licensing or distribution deal just because I get to maintain some freedom.
Yeah.
And then maybe 3 to 5 years, I would consider just like signing.
Yeah.
But till then, no.
How important is owning your masters to you?
Such a controversial thing. Everyone tells me I need to own my masters. And I understand you need to own your masters because it's like...
Do you know about the Taylor Swift story?
I do. I did hear about that.
But let's
Which is crazy,
put yourself in her shoes.
Firstly, I'd be mind blown because like... but like I see what the media shows me, so... Scooter Braun just looked like a solid guy, and the way things turned, I was actually kind of shook. But you never know. You see, you just never know. So you just have to be really wary about your team, and that's why for me, when it comes to any situation, I make sure I get advice, whether it's from Teabag or it's from Neo, like people that have witnessed other artists' journeys, people that have been in situations where they were exposed to, some of the pros and cons of this industry. I make sure I get advice first before just like running like, okay, oh my goodness, label, sign, yay. No, like I will not just dive into the deep end. I will weigh out my options. I will get advice first, just from people with wisdom, rather than just use my own just because it's what I want to do. It's just not a safe option.
Yeah.
Because I've watched people sign and they get shelved. And at this point, I feel like I don't want to call myself upcoming, but I'm not fully blown. For me, I don't have that leverage. So if I get signed now, like if I sell my whole, like if I just sign my life away right now and they take full control, there's a possibility I'm going to be shelved because I don't have that following yet. So like the whole country doesn't know my name. Whereas if everyone knows you, there's that hype. The chances of the label putting you first is more important, but like, or is higher. But if there's like bigger names in that label, obviously they're going to prioritize those big names because of the hype that's generated around them.
Yeah. Even if you think that you're better than them,
even it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
your work ethic doesn't matter. It like how dope you are doesn't matter. They hype speaks volumes. So I'm not silly enough to put myself in that situation. So yeah, I've thought about all these things a lot. I remember being a kid, like the vision is just like, once you're signed to a label,
everything is done.
It's done. The honest reality is it's because all the biggest artists are signed
to labels.
If you think about it, like who's an independent artist that's big? I'm pretty sure there's like a handful. But like
only now.
Yeah.
But like back then,
it was like everyone was signed to something.
yeah.
And the biggest of the biggest artists was signed. So it was like it ingrained in your head that, okay, in order to be that big or in order to be as dope, you have to be signed.
Yeah, give me a contract.
It's such a false, you know, thing that they...
I think record
template.
labels won on that. Like because of that, because of artists, young up and coming artists thinking, oh,
labels are the one.
I just need to be signed. I need to be signed.
Yeah, and I watched a lot of True Hollywood stories, and like there was always labels involved. So like in my head, it was like, okay, in order to make it, you have to be signed. And then once I entered this local South African music industry, and I see all these things, I'm just like, oh my god.
But don't you like, you know, I always, when I see these things, I'm like, yo, thank God for the internet. Otherwise, imagine how many people would be. I
mean, as much as I really have a love-hate relationship with social media, but like it's very informative, and it's exposed us to so much, because we never had the internet back then, or maybe we did, but I didn't have access to it like that.
Yeah.
We had TV, and whatever TV showed us, and TV didn't show us the negatives.
Yeah, the record labels could control what you see on TV.
Like I even say it up till now, like when I was a kid and I heard a person's song on radio and TV, I was like, oh my goodness, that's my dream. Like, I want to be that person. And here I am now. My song is playing on East Coast like all the time. And like my face is on Trace most of the time. And like my situation, it just, like, just like they're not balancing. It's a very unbalanced equation.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you don't know what's behind closed doors. You don't know the layers below the surface so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing is what it looks like or as it seems. So yeah, just never, for me, it's just like never aspire to be what you see on TV or on social media, because you never know what's behind that smile or what's behind, you know, the hype. So just appreciate your situation and where you're at. So as much as I do have my dark times and my down times, I'm really grateful for like my situation and my journey. It hasn't been the perfect one. It hasn't been like, that's the thing. In my early days, I would compare, and now I choose not to compare my story to other artists. But, and that actually holds you back, comparing yourself, because you don't know what they're going through. It looks great on social media. It looks great on TV.
Well, that's what the label wants you to see.
Exactly. Exactly. So regardless of what your journey is like, as long as you push and you work hard and you love what you do, I guess it will work out. That's why I'm like a firm believer in God's timing, just because it's never our timing. As much as our thoughts are powerful, God is greater, and I just feel like He knows our heart. So in due time.
Yeah. You will sound like a woman that's got a solid head on her shoulders.
Thank you.
You're very wise.
Thank
you know, it's good to see that you think this way, because I mean, and all the info that you're sharing, it's gonna go a long way, because it's gonna help other kids out there. I hope it helps
people that are starting up. Yeah.
Because I mean, there are kids that still just, they all hopped up about just making music and being on TV, being seen and being signed.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's the way they view things.
That's what you're taught. Like.
Yeah. And or maybe they see, oh, Yashna is good, but because she's not signed, her music is not everywhere. So maybe I might think so, because they don't know.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, you are here, you are present, you live. So you are there to tell people, yo, you can do it. You can start off on your own, just build yourself until you're in a position where you've got some leverage.
Yeah, just no excuses. I feel like, and now I can be honest with myself and say, initially I was making some young excuses. But I would just say, don't make excuses and don't procrastinate and don't. Because, like, I remember in my early days, I would like that one song. I had like 2 songs. And I was like submitting this thing. I remember I emailed like A1, I emailed Teleman, I emailed Sketchy Bongo. I was just like, no, if they hear it, maybe like they'll hear it and they like it and then like I'll pop off. No, it doesn't work like that. It'll never work like that, because each artist actually, from what I've like learned, is that artists really just care about their brand, and you can't blame them.
That's true. Because
everyone's trying to eat off of this music thing, those that are artists. So I get it. So some advice I would give is just don't put your talent or don't put your hope that you're going to make it through someone else. Just keep working. And I say this everywhere, probably in all interviews and like everything. There's a scripture in the Bible that says faith without works is dead. And back then, I think it's once I heard that scripture in church, I was like, oh God, that I felt that, because I had all the faith. I was like, oh, this is my dream. Jesus, why isn't that happening? And like, I'd write it down because I had read The Secret back then. It's like, write down the dream or whatever, make a vision board. I did all of that.
Yeah.
But I lacked the works. I had all this faith and there was not much work to show for. I had 2 singles. And it was only when I read that scripture, I was like, okay, no excuses. I need to put more work in. And it's only since I've been putting in the work, the hours and sleepless nights and whatever, that as much as it's not exactly where I want to be, I can see that I'm headed there.
Yeah.
So I'd say just like put in the hours, because yeah, faith without works is dead. So you need to put in the work in order for your faith to be alive and to make it and move.
Absolutely. You correct. I mean, you work full time, 9 to 5 every day.
Sleep when you're dead. Lloyd Banks said that.
And
I
you
like
still
it.
find time to go to the studio.
Well, I'm here now and it's like...
And you're here.
It's
and it's
like
quite late.
10.
Which is why I think we've run out of time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to keep you for here too long.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you here for too long, sorry.
But I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we've covered a lot, even though it's not enough. But we'll leave it for another day. Because, I mean, you're not going anywhere. You're still out here doing good stuff as far as music is concerned. And we appreciate you. And thanks for making time.
Having me.
So before we close off, anything you want to add in closing? Advice? Anything? Some announcements? Anything?
And I don't want to announce anything. Just people must just stay tuned to my social media. At Yashna_INT on Instagram, Twitter, soon to be Facebook. I'm not there yet. I'm having issues. Yeah, but Facebook never loved me. And but what I'd want to say is that I wish someone told me, because I didn't really have people around me that were in music to direct me in my early days or my starting out stages in music. Is that do not compare your story to someone else. It can literally take you 50 steps back. Like, you might have this vision and this dream in your heart, and just comparing yourself to someone else, and you might like know the person and you're just like, why not me? Why them? Don't do it. Because your story and their story are 2 totally different things. So I just say, trust in yourself, work hard, don't make excuses, and keep pushing.
Yashna, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You can go get an album, her EP, not an album. I'm trying to put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
Go get an EP. It's available on all digital platforms. It's titled Chemistry 2. It's her and Newandao.
Yeah. I also have an EP called Undone. Don't forget about that one.
Okay. Yeah. Undone is still relevant. Very much. Well, in fact, all her work is still very much relevant because you don't know it.
Yeah.
I know for a fact. So please start from Phases of My Broken Heart and build yourself up nicely.
Literally, it's a journey.
Just go to Undone, and then you can go to Chemistry 1. It's there. It's on SoundCloud, right?
It's on Audiomack and SoundCloud.
Audiomack.
Yeah,
Audiomack.
I think it's on both.
And then come to Chemistry 2. There's a whole lot of music. That's enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yashna, for joining us.
It's been awesome.
It's been real. Catch us next time here on the GNPS. Shout out to everyone, all the subscribers that are returning, the new ones. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, find the link somewhere and click on that subscribe button. Other than that, it's been real. You can catch us next time on the GNPS. Signing out. Peace.